What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast, where we talk about any and everything. Personal, old snaps and claps. It's a dang good day to talk about a few things. So let's get into it. Everybody, it is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast. And I'm super honored to have my super guest here, Miss Lady Drina. How are you, sis?
I am great, sis. How are you? I'm so excited to be here with you.
Absolutely. Yes, I'm doing fine. Doing fine. Loving the ATL.
I know that's right now. I'll be in ATL soon. Soon I'll be in
Awesome.
ATL. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. How has Miss Drina been? How you been?
Busy. been, been been extremely busy. But I'm grateful. This year has been a lot. I was just recently honored with a Living Legends Award here in my city. I thought that was absolutely amazing. God is
Yes.
That's amazing for, and I've actually made 10 years in radio as of June. I'm 10 years in radio. So um, it's been an amazing journey. This year for my 10th year anniversary, I decided to go ahead and incorporate what I do. And so now I do have my own LLC. And so
Really?
yeah, I'm excited about that and the things that God is doing and getting ready to do. I got my website in the work now and different things that I'm trying to implement and do. So I'm excited about it.
So when you say you have your LLC, what does that entail for you?
So what I currently do is I manage several different artists. I have right now three quartet groups that I do manage. They various places here in Florida. One of the groups is 111. They're out of Hollywood, Florida. I have the Cross family. They're out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I have Pat and True Testimony. Sometimes we call them Pat and the Girls. And
Wow.
they're
Yeah.
out of Tallahassee, Florida. And so incorporating what I do as a booking manager as well as a
Mhm.
radio host. And then the other ministerial things that I want to do. I do a lot of things for my senior community, and I love to work with youth in our city. And so I wanted to be able to do it on a larger scale. And so, in order to do it on a larger scale, the Lord led me, and with pushing, because I had some great people that was
Yeah.
behind me and pushing me and encouraging me to go ahead and do it. And so, with by the grace of God, I've done it, and now I'm just implementing everything that God is having me to do now.
That is so awesome. So let's step back a little bit. Now, what part of Florida are you from?
I'm actually from Orlando, Florida.
Orlando. Okay. So are you
Yes.
still living in Orlando right now?
No, I don't live in Orlando, but I am from Orlando. I actually live in Apopka, Florida, which is probably about 10 to 15 minutes away from Orlando. Basically, it's one of those
Okay.
outside, cities of Orlando.
Living in the sunny, isn't that the sunny state?
Yes, sunny state, the hot state right now.
The hot.
It's completely the hot state right now. Trust me.
I love Florida. Florida is just a great place to go relax and chill. So how is that
Yeah.
living there where all the attraction is?
Um, It's great. I don't really, because we live here, we don't really get all excited for the attractions like most people do. And I was very fortunate growing up. My dad worked for Disney for like 25 years, so I always
Oh
got in
wow.
free. My auntie, she worked for Disney, and so we got in free. And I had family working for Universal Studios and family
Okay.
working for the Wet and Wild when it was here and stuff like that. So I always had a good time. All my kids had birthday parties at Disney, and so it's old to us now.
Yeah, so you were like the number one mom doing that, having birthday parties at the
Right, right, right. So it was great because back
yeah.
back in the day, it was if you had family working here, that family member can get like 10 people in for free.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
the perks were amazing. Let me just say, the perks was
I believe
amazing. So
that.
I would literally have my auntie and my dad meet me at the gate, and I can get like 20 people in for free.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Nice. That's
right.
fun. Yeah. Good times. Good
Good
times.
times. They don't do that anymore. Thank you, Disney,
Oh.
for what you used to do.
Right, right. Okay, so let's talk about you as a woman of God, and so much you carry so much, you do so much, and your hat is just so full. Like you said, you have
Yeah.
your LLC, you have your managing the groups, and you have the radio, um, which is WOKB radio.
Yes.
I'm so excited about that. I hear I've come on your show when you're Facebook Live and everything, and I have so much enjoyed the conversations that you have. And basically the topic, one topic was, if you don't mind hitting this, was your struggle, your growth, and what you've been through, your testimony. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, she don't even look like what she's been through. So you look
Yeah.
amazing. Always have that 1000% look on, girl, on point. So let's hit on that, your testimony, just a little bit. Do you mind sharing that?
Yeah. No, I don't. God is, let's just say, like the famous song say, I don't look like what I've
Uh-huh.
been through. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
God is truly just been good. I grew up as a PK kid. My mom and father both were pastors. My mom pastored her own church. My dad was a co-pastor of a church. And so I grew up as a PK kid, went through a lot of different steps in my life. When I
Mm-hmm.
was probably about 2 or 3 years old, my mom um, allowed myself and my two brothers to go and live with family members, relatives who were not
Yeah.
very kind to us. They were
Mm-hmm.
just not nice people, and
Yeah.
we ended up being in a home with them for about 3 years. It was about 3 years we were there. They refused to give my mom back her kids. It was just
Oh
a
wow.
horrible, it was a really horrible situation. We were not taken care of well. I remember the last vivid memory that I have is the day that the state came into the house and removed us from that home. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember we were there. I have older sisters and brothers that are by my father. And so they came to visit
Yeah.
me one day, and they found us in a shed in the back of the house. And so it was
Wow.
myself and two of my brothers. We were locked in a shed, and they called the fire department to come and get us. And I believe I was either 4 or 5 at that time. And that was my last real vivid memory of them, where they came in and took us out of that home, basically rescued us, and
Mm-hmm.
put at the
Yeah.
time my mom was living in California. And so we ended up having to go to a a children's home. And so we were separated, and we ended up going to a place what used to be called Greater Oaks Village. And so we were
Mm-hmm.
separated because girls and boys couldn't stay in the same area.
Yeah.
And so we did that until the courts came in, and the courts ended up taking us back and stuff like that. So my life went through some crazy things, crazy things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but by the grace of God, he covered me. He
Mm-hmm.
covered us, all of us. I would say he covered us. And then, and my life just kept taking stages. Once we got back in with our mom, she was full time church, full time, all of this, and so we just immediately full time church and things.
Yeah.
When I was 16 years old, I had a severe car accident where I got hit by a truck and ran over by a car at 16. And
Wow.
it broke my tibia and my fibula on my right side, dislocated my hip, and broke my wrists. And so and my pelvic was jarred in this accident. So my whole right side was damaged really, really bad. And
Yeah.
so God really allowed me to do a complete recovery. I still have some issues in my legs sometimes out of it, but it was a blessing, because
Yeah. Absolutely.
where I could have died, he allowed me to live. So,
Absolutely. Wow.
so I'm actually
I'm
telling
sorry.
you a
I'm
lot more
like,
than I've ever said before. So you getting the
yeah,
exclusive, hon. You getting
absolutely. Yeah.
the you got a whole
Wow.
exclusive. So God has
Absolutely.
truly been good. I end up having I started a relationship that was a, what I believe an amazing relationship in the beginning. It was an amazing relationship,
Mhm.
but it became volatile
Yeah.
with my first two kids. It became a lot. It became
Yeah.
it became a lot, but in the midst of all of that, and God allowed me to get free from that particular relationship. Um, I met someone else, and I met a preacher, and I ended up
Uh-huh.
marrying a bishop. I was 22, 22,
That's a
23.
baby.
Yeah,
They
and
call
I
that
got
age a baby.
it was we were really babies, and I got married. I got married to a bishop, and that relationship didn't go as planned. We stayed
Yeah.
married for 16 years. It didn't go as planned. It was a lot of things. And one thing that I do vow to do is I've never shined too much of a negative cast on that particular person because
Yeah.
one, we are we're actually friends. That
Mm-hmm.
relationship didn't work, and we're where we are in life. But I choose to allow that situation to be forgiven and let go.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't know how to do that. Like
Yeah.
forgive and let go. Yeah, but I commend you on that. That is amazing. Like your testimony is just out of this world. And truly God has blessed you. Like I'm gonna go back like from when you were four or five in the shed. So has that did that ever did that so what age, let me ask you this. So what age between the 4 and 5 being in this and locked in the storage and then getting out of that? How long did that last?
So I was 2 years old when we were placed in that home.
Oh, got
So it's
you.
about
Okay.
3 years that
Oh,
we
okay.
were in that home with relatives. They were my
Oh,
mom's
got you.
relatives,
Oh, got
and
you.
they just ended up being some really not nice people.
Yeah. And even in that at that age, did you even feel like that messed you up mentally at all?
You know what really messed me up mentally, and something
Mhm.
that God had to show me as I got older, what really
Yeah.
affected my life was the fact that I had a father and I had a mother, and I always wanted to know why my father never rescued me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went through abandonment issues for a long time. I couldn't understand why nobody came to rescue us or rescue me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was kind of the thing that um, really lasted the longest with me was
hmm
abandonment issues.
Yeah. So how long was the process for you to be healed from what all of this that happened to now where you are today? What was the process that you had to do?
Let's just say I was very grown with kids before I completely got healed
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Wow.
my life went through um, one trauma after another trauma after another
hmm
trauma. So I never had a chance to really sit down and heal. Went to
Yeah.
counselings, went to group sessions, and I was even as a child placed on medicine
hmm Did you ever feel
for
like any of that worked for you at all? Like the
none of it worked.
counseling or the none of it? Okay. Wow.
None of it worked. I never allowed it to work either.
Why is that?
I was angry. I was
Okay.
angry. I had anger issues. I was very emotional and just
Yeah.
mad with the world.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah.
I just mad with the
Absolutely.
world
Yeah,
because
and
my life.
that's what happened to a lot of people. They just get mad at the world and then they tend
Yeah,
to hurt themselves. So I'm definitely glad that that didn't happen to you or your
tr-
siblings.
Trust me, I've been through different stages in my life. There has
Yeah.
been and I am presently getting ready to write a series of books
Oh, wow.
that are going to explain and talk about different areas in my life.
Mm.
Just like as a child, I've had molestation. I was molested,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something most women shy from. They don't talk about it,
Yeah.
and is something that I never did talk about or even accept in my life. I never let even my kids or anybody know. And so
Wow.
that's a thing that that God is asking me now to reveal to heal. Reveal
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
heal. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that reveal to heal. I definitely I wonder why. And I can be on the same page with you right now. I wonder why women, at a very young age, from being children to teens to an adult, hold
Yeah.
that in. And I know that one, it can be embarrassing. Two
Yeah.
is you're very ashamed, which probably mean
Yeah.
the same. And you just really don't feel like, to me, at that point in life, women probably don't feel like they are up to par to even
Yeah.
feel the love from
Discuss
another
it and that
person.
love.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It
so
was,
I know with me, my whole thing um it was mainly I wanted to forget it. I just
yeah.
wanted to act like it never happened. I wanted to bury it down, forget it, smother it. It never
Yeah.
ever happened. Just wanted to live my life and just keep moving. Everything in that past life, I just wanted it gone. And
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I smothered it for years. I smothered it for years, but it resurfaced because it was never healed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as my life continued to go through different stages, broken relationship with physical abuse, and then a broken marriage with
Mm-hmm.
different types of situations and issues that took place. So it was like one bad thing after the next, after the next, after the next. And
Yeah.
so it took stages, and I never forget. I was at a service, and this woman of God walked up to me, and I've always carried myself with such prestige and very well, especially being a first lady and a
Yeah.
co-pastor of church and stuff. You just carry yourself a certain way, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people didn't know I had a bleeding heart. I was crying. I was hurting. I was dying inside.
Wow.
And so this one woman of God, I never forget this. I was standing in a church and we were in worship service, and I was actually in the back of the church and the lady said, "I see your tears and I see the
Mm.
pain. I see your restless nights and your sleepless nights." And she said, "Today is your healing. God is getting ready to restore you from your childhood." She said,
Wow.
from the things that happened in your childhood, from the things that happened in your life, not just your childhood, but in your adult life and this. And she began to pray
Yeah.
and pull down things and just break certain curses and things that was, over my mind, over my life. And that was the beginning process of my healing.
That is wonderful. I love it.
Yeah.
And I just thank God for his angels here on earth. Like
Yes.
seriously, that God he sends these like people and they like I'm telling you, like it is nothing greater than God sending his
Oh,
angel and definitely ministering to you and just
yes.
pouring into your heart, into your
Yes.
soul, and just
Yes.
renewing you because sometimes
Yes.
we down here on earth we feel like God didn't left us, he just abandoned us, but he is really carrying us
Right.
through a lot of things. And then he
Yes.
sent, his love and his support
Yes.
and his
Yes.
sheltering and his warmth and his embracing. I just thank God for that
Yes.
because
Yeah.
one, sis, I thank God for you because every time I see you, it's just like so encouraging. It's just so
Uh,
motivating. I'm like, Drina, you are something else, girl.
Man,
You are
listen,
amazing.
it's truly the grace of God. I just,
Absolutely.
and He put something in me that's so precious, and that's love. He gave
Yeah.
me the ability to really love people and accept love again. Because for a long time, I didn't even know how to accept love for myself. I would give love, but didn't know how to accept it.
Mm,
And
that's
so
good.
God gave me the ability to receive and give love openly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wonderful. I'm so glad. I'm so glad because you deserve that and more.
Yeah.
So, so what is it that keeps you striving and so much that you do? I know that you're in the radio, you have the your management. So what keeps that going? What's that fire?
You know what? It's it's really I remember prophecies that was given to me as a child, things over my life
Mhm.
that was foretold and said. And I literally just, I believe God refreshes me to
Mm,
remind me of his word. And so my main thing right
yeah,
now is I want my children to see how even though life can throw you lemons, life can
yeah,
give you some of the worst things ever. You can still make it. You can still go.
absolutely. Yeah,
Regardless of what it feels like, looks like, you can still do what God is allowing you to do, and you can have a productive life. And so, a lot of things that I do right now, man, it's because of my children. It's because of my children, and it's because God is willing it in my life to do.
yeah, yeah. And you said something like, because God, you know that God has placed this upon your life. So
Yeah.
how is one like what would you say to one that have been spoken that upon their life, that growth, that greatness, that whatever gift it is that God has placed, how do they I can even say me, how do I? Because sometimes we do forget what God has
Yeah.
already blessed us from our childbirth, from even being in
Yes.
our mom's
Yes.
womb, our mother's womb. Is
Yes.
just how do I remember what
Yeah.
God has spoken over my life, that anointing, that blessing, whatever, that growth, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Say it,
You
speak it to
know,
me.
listen, one thing that I would say is it's really through prayer. It's through prayer and relationship with God. One
Oh, I
thing
love
that
that.
God has told us is, you know, he is mindful of us, and he wishes above all things that we are what?
Mm, prosper
Prosper and be in good health.
in hell.
He
Mm-hmm.
knows the plans that he has for us. Those plans are good and not of evil. And so
Right.
knowing these plans, if as your relationship increases with the Father, he is so faithful to remind us of his word. He
Yeah.
is faithful. He is faithful. So whenever we're weak, that's when he is made strong in our
Mm,
lives. So whatever we are lacking, when we are weak, when we can't move, when we can't even pray, the Holy Ghost on the inside of us make groanings that we may not
yeah.
even understand, but God understands the groanings that
Yeah.
comes and the utterance that comes on our behalf. And so if you just glean in and lean into the relationship you have with God, he will definitely refresh you. He will bring you back into where he knows you're supposed to be, not what we think we should be. Because sometimes we hold on to dreams that we've made up, not dreams
Yeah.
that God has given us, but dreams that we have got. So sometimes it's hard for us to let go our dream and to accept his dream. The key is got to let it go.
You are so
Let
speaking
go
to
it.
me right now.
Let, let it
Yes.
go. Let go those dreams and go back to ground one. Whatever I tell people, whenever you don't hear God talking and you feel like you're in a silent time with God, if you don't feel
Mm,
him and you can't hear him, go
yeah.
back to the last word he said to you. Go back to the last place you saw him. Go back to the last place you heard him. Meet
Mm,
him there, because I promise you he'll still be there.
That's right. Yes.
Meet him there.
That is so good. That is
Yeah,
so
you
good.
meet him there and he'll be there. And so
Wow.
God
That's
is faithful. He's faithful, hon. That's all I can say. God is
yes, he
faithful,
is.
and he will bring all things back to your remembrance.
Hmm.
He'll bring
I
it back.
know. I know for me, sis, and that's just with the moving from Arkansas to here and being, no family here with me, and my family's but
Yeah.
like I said, it's in Arkansas. It's a different thing when I'm used to being this with my family.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
close, like
Yeah.
we did
Yeah.
everything together,
Yeah.
and it's just so different. And sometimes it's a lonely feeling. Sometimes
Yes.
I get in my apartment and I just, I cry and, I pray and I
Yeah.
feel sometimes I feel lost and,
Mm.
I just like, Lord, I know this move was for me. I know this
Yeah.
move that you had a purpose, your plan. You
Yeah.
know, I just want to stay on that focus of it. And I
Yes.
know sometimes somewhere in there I have lost my way. And
Mm.
I know that God is directing me back to that
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
these last few weeks I have been, I've been in a place of kind of like hurt and kind of like sadness, but
Yeah.
I know that God has, He has a plan for me here, and I know
Oh,
that
he
there's so
does.
much greatness that's going to come out of it.
Yeah. Oh, he
So, and
has
I
a
know,
plan.
oh yeah, absolutely. And sometimes, for me, I was like, Lord, I don't want to forget what the blessings that the late
Mm-hmm.
nights, my parents up, praying 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning, praying. I remember
Yes.
my parents praying one night, and it was storming so bad outside, and we had a gas heater like it was all of my sisters, it's 7 girls, 5 boys, but at that time it was maybe 5 girls in that bedroom. All my other sisters was grown, and and then my brothers, it was 2 of them at home. So I remember them praying, and I would always wait for my parents to come in the bedroom and like put oil over my head, and I'm like, oh, just being young, waiting on
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
hearing them in the middle of the night crying out and just praying. And I can
Yes.
hear my mom like speaking in tongues and calling on the name of God. But this particular night, it was storming so bad, lightning come inside the house. And I mean, it went down the wall behind the gas heater and just exploded. Let me tell you, that heater did not blow up. We were, I was like, thank God for
Wow.
my parents praying.
That's proud. That's a power of proud.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And but the
Yeah.
thing was when my mom and my dad was on their knees in the living room praying, they had black, spots from the lightning
Mm.
coming in on their skin where they had to peel off. It was just
Mm.
amazing. I said, God, just truly, because we all could have been dead.
Yeah.
All could have
Wow.
been dead. And I
That's
thank God
God.
for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's just
Well,
remembering what God has for us. So
yeah. And one thing I do want to say to you is, I'm just going to tell you about my journey in radio because, honey,
mhm.
whew, it was a journey. So, when I first started in radio, um, we were pastoring. Me and my husband at the time, we were pastoring, and we had our church on radio. We had our church on radio, and our relationship started going through a spiral of no return. And so we ended up dissolving the actual radio program we had with the church. And then
Yeah.
I went to the owner and I was like, you know what? I really want to do something. I feel like God is leading me to, use my voice or do something. I want to do this. And I was just telling I want to do independent artists, interviews. I want to just do this, something to motivate women. And then she was like, okay, you can do it. And I was like, huh? I can do it. And she was like, yeah, come on, you can do it. And so
Yeah.
she's like, well, what you gonna name your show? And I was like, I don't know. And so at that time, me and my ex-husband, we were still together. We was trying to fight for that marriage. And so he looked at me and he said, why don't you call it Walk It in Favor? And I said, oh, that sounds good. Yeah, that's what
Hmm.
it's gonna be. It's gonna be Walking in Favor. And that was so prophetic at the time. I never understood it in the beginning. But then all of a sudden, when I started that show, everything I started doing was literally the favor of God. It was walking in
Yeah.
favor. I will never forget. It was like my third show. I was live on radio, and Hezekiah Walker come walking through the studio, and
Oh,
he's
wow. Oh.
And the one of the office managers said, "Hey, Lady Drina's in there." I was going by Lady Rodrina at that time, and they said Lady Rodrina Phillips is in there. Go in there and let her interview you. She wants to do interviews and stuff like that with artists. And he walks in the door, and I'm sitting there like, "What just happened?"
Absolutely. Yeah. Was that like
And
your first one? Was that like your
that
first
was my
interview?
first interview. He was my first.
Wow.
He was my first interview, and we put it on social media. It kind of blew up, and it taught me this. Let me tell you what it taught me. It taught me never to show up to radio looking crazy again in life, because they took pictures, they put me on video, and I had a little ponytail and a little sundress on. I was looking a whole mess. Because I'm like, it's radio, they don't see me.
Absolutely. That is
but
hilarious.
but it ended up just literally, and it spiraled into more artists wanting to be a part of my show, and I did it for a long time. And at that time I was a emergency medical dispatcher. I was working at the police department. I had been there for years. And so I did radio once a week. I did radio once a week for about 3 years. After I separated, not my divorce, but after we separated, my job started going through a real change, and I ended up getting laid off my job. I'm losing it now, because I'm just like, what is happening? I've been on this job for almost 14 years. I'm getting laid off this job, and
Yeah.
I'm doing this radio, and I'm paying like $6,000 a year just to be on radio. I'm like, oh, I can't do it anymore. I need to just put my money up. And I'm like, I'm going to leave radio. And she was like, no, don't leave radio. Stay on radio. This is what she told me. She said, stay on radio.
Yeah.
And she told me, come into the radio station the next day. It was September the 21st. I'll never forget it. I got fired September the 21st. She hired me at the radio station September the 22nd. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Nothing. She just said, come, I will find something for you to do. And
Right.
so at that time I told her, I said, well, since I need to put money away and I can't pay for my show anymore, I said, I'll just work for you for free. So for one whole year, I worked for her for free and used that. I got my money by being on radio for free. Let me just say. So I put my money
Nice. Yeah.
back into my show. And so I did that for a couple more months. And then the lady in the afternoon ended up quitting. She quit. Like, huh? So I started helping them find somebody, and they always wanted another female. And I helped them find somebody. She came. She didn't like it. She quit.
You quit.
We found another female. She came in. She was just like, I don't like this. I don't like these hours. I don't like the
It was waiting for
timing.
you, Drina.
Listen, and so the same lady who sent Pam Morris, I love Pam, and she's one of our liaisons for our radio station. She's the one who sent Hezekiah in for me to interview. She called me one day and she said, Drina, I think that's your job. I said, no, I don't really want to do it. She said, I think that's your job. And I'll
Right.
never
Yeah.
forget, that year was in 2016. I had got 2 nominations for being radio announcer of the year in 2016, and I was not yet a radio announcer. I was only a radio host. I was in radio, but I wasn't an announcer yet. And I won. I
Wow.
won 2 different awards for radio announcer of the year before I even became a radio announcer.
Hmm.
God was literally strategically putting me in a
Yeah, putting
place,
you in place. Yes.
put me in place. And so later on that year, around about October, I took on the position, and immediately the people fell in love with me, and I stayed full time
Wow.
doing it. And I didn't have to do my hosting show anymore. I let that go, because let me tell you how God works. I went from paying 6,000 something dollars a year for one show for 1 hour to being
Mm.
paid to do 4 hours a day. You hear me?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
You hear me?
Nice.
Okay. Uh, okay.
I
So,
hear you.
so God literally allowed me to walk in his favor.
Absolutely. That's what it was.
It, That was it. It was him. I had never been to any schooling for it. I didn't have no major training for it. The only thing I had was a voice. And I grew up as a singer. I sung my whole life in church and different things like that. So I had a singing voice, I had a preaching voice, but I knew I had a voice. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I got on radio, it just came alive. It just really came alive, and
Yeah.
the best was yet to come from then. And then the very next year was our first year being represented at the Stellar Awards. 2017, we went in for that ballot, and we actually won that award in 2018. We won the award in 2019. In 20 wait no we won the award in 2017, 18, and 2019 we were nominated. 2020 we did not we didn't even run in 2020, and then 2021 we won. So we had
Nice.
like 5 years in a row where God had blessed us. And that first year,
Yeah.
I remember God telling me this was our year and that we were going to win. So I went
Mm-hmm.
to everybody and I said, we're going to win this award. And so I called Griff, and Griff thought I was crazy. And so those of you that don't know who Griff is with Get Up Mornings with Erica
Absolutely.
Campbell.
Yeah.
So I called him and I said, Griff, this is our award. We're going to win. He said, you just a candidate. I said, this is our award. I said, God told me we're going to win this award. Griff said, okay.
Mhm,
And
okay.
okay, so we went on it. Okay, we got through the first round. We got through the second round. We got in that last round. When we got in that last round, I told him, I said, Griff, I'm trying to tell you, this is our award. The Lord showed it to me. This is our award. And he was like, girl, okay, okay. And I never forget that day we went to the awards. It was me and Boss Lady, Shanti. We went and we were standing there. And when they began to shout out WOKB, I looked, and Griff and Erica was sitting on the front row. Griff jumps up and said, Drina said it. Drina said it. And then after when we talked, I told him, I said, I'm going to tell you the power in what was said it's not that I said it. I just believed what God had said to me, and I
Absolutely.
stood
Yeah.
on it. I stood on what he said for me, and I
Yeah.
believed it, and he manifested what I believed.
Absolutely.
God
Absolutely.
manifests what I believe. So that's
Yeah.
that's my word for everybody. Just believe God. Believe
Absolutely. And
God
trust the process.
and trust the process and watch God manifest what you believe.
Absolutely. Thank you for the word. It's gonna have to be a to be continued, because we got to shut it down just for a little bit, and then we'll pick it back up on another to be
Yeah,
continued right here on the Morning Jam podcast. So I thank
absolutely.
you, Lady Drina. You are amazing. Like I said, I'm for real, to be continued.
Let's
I
do
thank
it. Let's
God for
do it.
you. I thank God for everything that you do. I thank God for how He have placed you in my life and to motivate and inspire me. And I thank God for
Yes.
that. So I really do.
And trust
Actually,
me, I'm always a phone call, text away. Girl, you can just
you
call
tell me
me
that every time.
anytime. You hear me anytime. I'm right here.
Now let the people know where they can reach you, connect with you, hear the radio and everything.
Yes. So y'all go follow me at Lady Drina. Uh-oh.
There
Oh,
you go.
sorry guys.
That's
Go follow
okay.
me at Lady Drina Live everywhere. It's Lady Drina Live or Live Drive. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok now, y'all. So go follow me. I'm doing some funny things on TikTok, Instagram. And you can follow me at WOKBradio.com. I'm on the radio from 3 to 7 Monday through Friday. Download our app at WOKB. So that's simple and easy. And I
Absolutely.
promise you, I will message you back. If you message me, I will respond.
Absolutely. Thank you, sis. And congratulations. Almost 10 years in radio. Congratulations.
No, it's 10 years.
Oh, it's 10 years already. Okay.
June made
Oh,
10
June.
years.
Got you.
June
Okay.
made 10 years. We're going to celebrate my 10 years September the 24th here in Orlando. And so that information is on my Facebook page as well. So I would love for you guys, if you're in the city of Orlando, come and celebrate with me. We're going to have an amazing experience for my
Absolutely.
pre-birthday celebration and anniversary.
Absolutely. You heard it right here first on the Morning Jam podcast with your sister and friend Crystal Whitaker, and we are out of here. If you enjoyed this podcast, tune in each week on thinkingoutloudnetwork.com. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share with your friends and family. Until next time, peace.